just doing a quick capture video to see how it works, see how it looks. Anyway, so on the subject of inflation, deflation, I was thinking about the other day when I was doing this talk about the economic stuff, just because it's kind of strange when you think about the deficit and whether we pay it off or we just print the money to solve that problem. You know, theoretically, paying it off might cause deflation, and printing the money would cause inflation. And you know, maybe you could just do half of each. You know, for every trillion you paid off, you just print $1 trillion to pay off another trillion worth. I don't know. But the weird thing is too is to think about there's only 2 trillion of these in circulation, and if we paid off the debt, these would have to cycle through the debt 6 times. I mean, through the bond market, and they'd have to first all be taxed from us. So it's like you'd have to tax every dollar in circulation and pay it 6 times. I mean, you have to go through that 6 times before you could pay off our debt. That's how monstrous it is. So yeah, I was just sort of curious though to figure out what inflation or deflation would be made out of. And I guess it really doesn't matter because it depends on where you are in the economy, which one's going to hurt you. I mean, inflation's okay if you keep up with it. If your salary also inflates, well, then you don't have a problem. And I guess deflation is pretty good if you got savings, and that money will become more valuable if you can convert it into money. I mean, I guess that's the key to the whole thing is, you know, there's all these assets out there that say they have a stake in this, you know, that they're entitled to it, that they should be able to convert their asset into this. And so eventually you'd think there'd be kind of a run on the bank, you know, a run on the dollar. But they can also convert assets into some other currency or to some other commodity. And that's the whole problem with paying off the debt, is if you print the money, then the people will use the money to inflate commodity prices because they won't rebuy bonds if we're not, you know, if we're paying off the debt. And so even, you know, if you don't print the money, the same thing's going to happen. They're going to, you know, it seems like inflation's the inevitable winner here. I don't see how deflation can win over the long term. So sometime in the next few years, this isn't going to be worth anything anymore. Because either way, if we abolish the debt by paying it off, or if we abolish the debt by just printing the money, I mean if we tax it to pay it off, either way, the people getting the money are going to buy something with their money, and they're likely to buy rock solid commodities, so that'll make those prices increase. One would suppose, anyway. Yeah, that seems to be the supposition, that oil, you know, definitely is going to go up. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Anybody care to offer their opinion? I would be curious. So yeah, enough of a video just to test, to see how this looks. Yeah.